Hey guys, so just wanted to make a quick video for you all here. So those of you who own a Mark 8 Volkswagen Golf R or GTI with a DSG transmission, so you all might know that we do have a function called auto start stop. Now this function is not new to our cars. It's not even new to the previous gens. Many cars have had this feature for a while now. And there are some car models that do allow you to go into the menus and you can actually permanently switch it off and it will remember that setting each and every time you do start up the car. But some cars, just like ours, they only allow you to go into the menu once, switch the feature off if you don't want to use it, and then when you do go turn off the car again and turn it back on, it will actually automatically enable that feature despite if you have switched it off before, on or off, doesn't matter. So yeah, it can be really annoying when you start the car, and even if you do have it part of your routine to switch it off and start the car, I'm sure many of you guys have come across a situation where maybe you're in a rush, you're trying to get somewhere, and you just turn on the car and you might forget to switch off the function, and then you come to a stop at a traffic light and suddenly the engine switches off, and it's just kind of like really jarring to just have the engine switch off. You at first you're thinking like, oh man, what happened, something happened with the car. Then you look, and then of course you have to remember, oh that's right, I forgot to switch off the auto start stop. So yeah, many folks have tried to look for solutions how to permanently disable that feature. And some previous gens before the Mark 8, they have had it easier where you can just code it out with OBD11 device or some other options out there. But in the Mark 8, looks like there's no easy way to do it through coding yourself. So basically, what are the options that we currently have? So the first option is actually if you do get a tune for the car, many companies offer to switch off that option by default, or it will just remember the last setting that you had. So if you switched it off, next time you turn on the car, it'll keep it off and it won't turn it on. So that is one of the options. Second option we do have is we do have somebody by the name of Anthony Christos. Hope I'm saying that right. So he's from a company called ACM Technik, and he does quite a few coding and other services for our cars. And apparently he does have access to permanently disable the auto start stop feature. So that is another function, or that is another option rather, if you do want to go down that route. But if you want to do it yourself, you are kind of stuck. Unfortunately, as of right now, we don't have a current working option to control that function ourselves, permanently keep it off, and work through all that. So, but I have been browsing around and doing a bit of research, and I stumbled upon this interesting module. So there's quite a few of these options available on the market. Mostly they're on the website AliExpress, and they do offer quite a few variants of these. Basically what it does is it's supposed to either remember the last setting that you had for the start stop function, or it's supposed to basically switch it off by default, depending on the variant you get, how you set up the options, things like that. So I tried to do a bit of research, tried to see if anybody had come across these, used them in their own on their own in the Mark 8 Golf Rs or GTIs, and haven't really seen too much. I did come across some Chinese like sites and videos, but yeah, I couldn't find too much, so tried asking around and didn't get too many results. So decided to just take a chance because they were pretty cheap. You can get them anywhere from like, I think they start as cheap as like 10-15 bucks, 20-30, something like that. They're relatively like under the $40-50 range. They do have I have seen some variants that are over 100, but I didn't really see much benefit getting any of those. Didn't really see them being any better quality per se or anything like that. So I decided to take a look see what options we have around. And there's quite a few variants, and I did pick this one out in particular. So the reason I picked this variant in particular is it's a really simple one. So if you saw some of the other options on the market, they do have like several pinouts and several places where you do need to connect. You might have to repin a connector or something like that. And this one's actually really, really simple. So all it does is it connects into a place right under the steering column, and it just connects in line with one of the connectors that it goes right into another module, and that's it. And supposedly it should just automatically remember which was the last setting you had. So if you had it off before, then it should keep it off on the next time you turn on the car, and if you had it on, then it should keep it on. So we're gonna test that out, and yeah, basically, let's go inside the car. We'll take a look, see what we currently have, how it works, and yeah, then let's try to get it installed, and we'll take a look how it works. All right, guys. So first, let's take a look what we currently have going on with the car, how it works from factory. So what we do, usually when we start the car, so we'll just start up the car. So we get all our menus, and now I did go and make a shortcut for the function just in the swipe down menu. So if we take a look here, we're going to swipe down, and as we can see, the function is currently on because it's not highlighted in the color that you have. So that means the function is on, and that means it will function and turn off the car during any stops, in traffic or coming to lights, things like that. So what we do is we switch off the function. We get a notification here that the auto start stop system is deactivated. So we can see it's deactivated. All right. And now let's go and turn off the car. So switching it off. So we take a second. I'm just going to simulate as if I got out the car. Just going to open the door. It turns off the infotainment system. All right. That should go off here in a second. All right. This should basically be enough. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try to turn the car back on, and let's take a look at where the function is, whether it's enabled or disabled. So we're turning the car back on. Give it a second here. All right, so I'm going to swipe down, and as we can see from the factory, it always enables that feature, meaning if it's not highlighted in blue or whatever color you have, that means that it is currently on and functioning as normal. But if you do, you have to keep pressing it on to switch that function off. Then you get the message that it's been deactivated. So basically that's how it works, and we do have to do that every single time, as you all know, and that can be really annoying. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you guys where to install the module. It's a little tricky. I'm just going to try to get in there, get a good light for you all. Yeah, after we install that, we're going to take a look at how it functions. But first, let's get it installed, and let's take a look where to install it. All right, guys, so I just put down this soft cloth here, just so I don't scratch down the paint. But basically, here's what we have here. So we have the cable just right in front of us like that. And it's going to be a little tricky to show you guys just because of the angles of everything here. But basically what you're looking for, there's a factory connector in the car that looks exactly like this. And what it is there's a black clip right here that you push down, and then you swing this arm outward at the same time. So you have to like push it down and then swing this arm out. And then you can pull the connector out. After you do that, basically you're going to connect that part, the factory connector, into here, and then you're going to connect this into the module box where you pulled the factory connector out of. So that's basically how it works. now let's try to take a look where we actually install it. So basically, if you go down here, so just below, it should be just between the brake pedal and the steering column here, all the way up. Now, the video for the listing does show that you have to take off some of these panels here, but the reality is you don't have to do that. There's actually a lot of room to get to here. You can, if you need to make it a little easier for you. That's why they give you the little panel trim removal tool. But I'll just show you. So basically, it's right behind this area, behind the brake pedal and the steering column. If you look all the way up, right back here. All right, there it is. So it's right up there where you see this box here. Try to get a little closer. All right, so we see that kind of purple pink connector right there. So that's the one you're gonna remove. You're gonna pull it right out, swing that arm out, and then pull it right out, and then put that in line with that connector right there. So I'm gonna do that for you guys right now, and I'll just show you how it's installed, and then we'll come back and test it out. Okay guys, so I managed to install the module just as we were expecting. So that same location where I had shown, where you pull out the current connector and plug the inline connector in. Now one thing to note is basically what you want to do, ideally you want to disconnect the battery before doing that. The reason being, when I first did that, now this was maybe a little bit of an amateur error here, but when I first did that and plugged it in, I got a whole bunch of errors that lit up on the screen, and I checked even the OBD2 connector, and I saw a whole bunch of fault codes, and that kind of scared me at first. But no worries. What you want to do if that happens, I went right ahead and I just disconnected the battery, because I do recall that it could be because we unplugged the connector from the original factory box, and that may have thrown a bunch of codes. So what you want to do in that case, disconnect the battery, wait about 5-10 minutes, okay? Then you want to come back and try to connect it again. And then after that, when you first want to start up the car without the engine. So just push the engine start-stop button and start it up without the engine start. You're going to get a whole bunch of errors, lights, everything like that. No worries. At that point, then you want to start the engine. And when you start the engine, what you're going to do is you're basically going to take the steering wheel and go all the way left once till it stops, and then go all the way right back another time till it stops, and then go back kind of to center, and you'll see that the error lights all will go away slowly, one by one. So not to worry if you do get a bunch of those error codes. It looks like it's fine. And once I did all that, I went in and I checked, and now they all seem to have gone away and everything seems to be working fine. So currently the module is installed, so let's actually take a look at what is happening now. So I'm in my car. Let's say you just got in your car and you want to start the engine. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm not going to start the engine actually, because I do have the garage door closed, but as you saw before, even without starting the engine, the function for the auto start stop button was always off, and you had to push it again and again each and every time you start the car. So we're just going to turn it on, and let's see what happens. All right, so there, right away, immediately it says start stop system is deactivated. And when we go check here, let's give it a second to start. All right, so now we're going to swipe down, give it a second to load, and right there. So you can see the start stop function is deactivated by showing the color that you have in your car. In this case it's blue, but whichever one you have for your car. So yeah, basically what it does is it should remember the last way that you had put it. So as you can see, it's fully off. Now I'm going to turn off the car once again. We'll turn it off, saying goodbye. I'm going to open the door to simulate as if I left. Close it again. So we'll let the infotainment turn off here for a second. All right. Well, I think that's about enough time. So let's start it again. Let's see what happens. All right, immediately I get the message. Start-stop system is deactivated. Sorry, it's a little blurry there, but you could see that. And when we check here, let's swipe down again. And as you can see, this auto start-stop is turned off. So yeah, that's it. So I anticipate I'm gonna go out for a drive, and if you don't hear anything else after this video, then basically we should be all set. But I did already start the car a few times and checked. Everything starts fine. Everything works fine. Once I was able to clear those errors, everything worked just fine after that. So yeah, that's about it, guys. So I would say that's how easy the install is. It is a little tricky to get in there and fiddle with the wires a little bit, try to wedge it in a way that is comfortable for the wires to fit and make sure it doesn't hit anything. But once you get it in there, you'll see it should be pretty easy. And yeah, basically that should be it. So these modules do cost about like 20-25 bucks or so, right, on AliExpress. And yeah, this way you can take it out, take it in. If you have any concerns, questions, anything, yeah, feel free to hit me up in the comments or ask me. And yeah, I'll try to answer them as best I can. So hopefully that helps some of you guys. I will link in the description where to buy that module, the one that I did. Now, it could be that the listing sometimes does go away after some time. So if you do search that module on AliExpress, you just put in something like Golf MK8 Auto Start Stop module. You'll see the exact one that I'm referencing to, the one with that purple kind of inline connector. And yeah, basically you can purchase that one and it seems to work just fine. So yeah, that's it, guys. Any questions, feel free to let me know. But that's about it. And yeah, take care till the next one.